guys, welcome to the Scale Your Sewing Business Summit. So in this section I want to talk to you about everything I know on pattern making. So my name is TobiStylx and I am a bag designer. Okay, so you can just say I in the comment section. Let me know how many people are joining me right now. Let me know if you are here. Let me know where are you watching from. You can also share this video in your, because I'm going to be sharing a lot of values with us today, and I want you to share this in your sewing, maybe your sewing group with your friends, your sewing friends, your friends that sew, your friends that make, that craft, that make things. So you can share it with them so that they can also benefit. Sewing in general is a fun craft. I really love sewing, and majority of us that sew can really testify to this. Sewing is enjoyable. You get to bring your imaginations to life, and it's just so fun. Some people even use it as therapy, as a hobby. And we are talking about the business side of sewing today, especially pattern making. My journey in pattern making, I started 2020, December 2020. And before I started, I was always making bags, posting, and a day came, I posted in an international group, and people started asking me, what pattern did you use for this bag? It was actually a waist purse, like a fanny pack, like the purse you put on your waist like this. So I posted that, and people started asking me, where did you get this the pattern for this from? Where did you get it from? Where did you get it from? I actually didn't understand what they were talking about, so I asked, what is pattern? Like, who does that? Right? So they answered me, they told me what pattern is, they explained things to me, and they told me that if I have the pattern, like if I create the pattern for sale, that they are going to buy it. I started thinking in a business way, right? Because this is like a business opportunity presenting itself before me. So I started looking for ways. How is pattern written? I went to meet some pattern designers that I know of. I asked them what should be done. I downloaded some patterns, right? I downloaded some free patterns, some paid ones. I bought some, I downloaded some for free. Then I started looking at how it was written, how it should be written, how it should be done, what will make it make sense, right? What will make another person see it that they will want to buy it. Is typically like an ebook. It's like you are writing a book, but in this case you are writing a book for a particular bag, for how to make a particular bag actually. So it's like how to make this style kind of book, but in this case you also have to draw the pieces out. So from my learning, I realized that I should be using an app, a free app called Inkscape. So this is like a top information, guys. I don't say this always, like this is not what you hear me say every day. So I got this free app called Inkscape. I draw all my pattern pieces from it. It's basically like you take out your paper, right? The way you would normally draft out your paper pattern and use it to cut your material. But this case, you have to do it on a system, right? Digitally. After drawing it on the system, the person buying it can now print it out from their printer, cut out the section you want them to cut out, and use it to cut their material. And of course, cutting their material out still doesn't justify or means that they are finished doing the pattern or anything like that. No, it means that they will now need the instructions. Like imagine a YouTube tutorial about a bag. Imagine you wrote those down, like cut, join piece A to piece B, and then interface piece A with piece A or piece B, something like that. Then you start putting those instructions and people are able to follow it. And the beauty and joy of it is that other people actually take something you designed, something that was your imagination. Someone else's actually took it and worked with it, and they are able to come out with a bag as close as what you have in your imagination. There are different phases to writing a successful pattern. Number one, it means that you have to look for, out of your creative mind, right? You have to look for something that people are looking for. Like, you have to come up with a design that people want, that people are looking for. And this is not just Nigerians. In fact, to be very honest with you and to tell you the truth, 90%, or maybe let me just say 95 or even 98% of those people that will be buying your pattern, if you eventually start, are going to be white people and other colors, right, that are not Nigerians. Nigerians are majorly not going to buy your patterns. The reason is that these patterns are between the range of like $6 to like $10 or like even $12. And if you convert that to our naira, that's like some 3,000 naira to maybe 10,000 naira. That is on the average, like very much or too much for an average Nigeria to spend on. They will be like to just spend on just some ebook. And the truth is, these things are just very, very important in our day-to-day. On like personally, like I said before, I bought some patterns, not just because I want to learn how to do patterns, but because I have it's a very small wallet. It's not right here with me. I bought the pattern from another designer to be able to use for to cut out the pattern and to follow the instructions to sew it. Now, I did not do this because I couldn't just sit down and come up with the design of that wallet just looking at it from my phone, like looking at the pictures. I could have just come up with it, but coming up with it will mean that I will spend like minimum of maybe 5 hours trying to figure it out and trying to cut the right size of the right measurement, the right everything. Meanwhile, if I buy this pattern for maybe some 3,000 naira, I will save that 5, except your time is not important to you anyways. And I know that people watching right now, your time is important to you. So something like that, I just buy that kind of pattern, save myself of those 5 hours or even a whole day or 2 days of trying to figure out a design that somebody already figured out and already listed the measurements, everything that I need to do that. So why waste my time? Why sit down there and crack my brain when I can use it to do something even more important than that? So I bought the pattern, cut out and sew it. I couldn't remember how long it took, maybe 2 hours. But you're still going to use these 2 hours to sew, even if you figure it out for a whole day by yourself. You figure it out. After figuring it out, you're going to still sew. So that is the idea of using an already made pattern. Using an already made pattern will save you of the time for cracking your brain, looking for the right measurement. Now, time management is like the first benefit for the end users. Now, another benefit is wastage of material. For example, you want to sew a bag, and that bag, after cracking your brain and coming up with the what the size of the main panel should be, what the size of the flap should be, and you are now at the size of the side of the bags, like your bag. I'm using bag because that's what I make bags. I know all of us don't make bags. We have people that sew shoes, people that sew clothes, and all of those. So you can use that. You can use what you know too as an example of what I'm trying to say. I hope you get the example of bag anyways. So for example, you came up with the pattern or the panels of the main panel, the flap of the bag, and every other thing remains the side. Now For example, if the side is supposed to be normally, after getting the whole thing right, if the side is supposed to be, let's say 4.5 and you cut 3.5, you are going to definitely waste that material, right? That will go to a waste. Maybe you already cut that 3.5, you've even started sewing, so you now sew it and realize that, oh my god, this is not going to be enough. Then again you cut 4, now you are still going to 4.5, you cut 4, then you realize, oh, this is still not working. Then again you cut 5 and see that, oh my god, this is too big. Then you now cut 4.5. Imagine the time, imagine the material you waste. God now save you, you don't have enough material to complete the project. Then you will need to go to the market or to go to your supplier again to be able to continue that project. And not only will that waste your material, it will also make the overall project looks like tattered, because you are sewing and removing, sewing and removing. At the end of the day, you are reducing, you might end up reducing the other panel you are sewing that incorrect one too, because after sewing and removing, that edge might become even torn. Then you have to cut it, and you know, all of those problems is what we try to save ourselves from. Is why people that sew use this pattern. So now that you know the benefit of it, I hope you now understand that it is like a very hot market. People are releasing patterns every day. Like bag designers are releasing patterns every single day, and people are buying them every day. Some people even say, oh, how would I, like jokingly say, how would I stop buying patterns every day and stuff. This is like a very hot niche in sewing, and if you take advantage of this niche, not only will you be grateful for the financial aspect of it, because it's very profitable, and you will also be grateful for the fact that you'll be able to use your creativity. You'll be able to come with something that no one else has done, like no other bag designers has done. You just come with something and draw it down, then take it to, you know, the next level, write the instructions, draw the digital patterns and stuff like that. My journey as a pattern designer, when I started, it was like very hard. No sales was coming in and stuff like that. I'm not trying to scare you, and that is what summit like this is meant for. It's meant to shorten that journey. Like that pain that I went through when I started is meant to help you to be able to escape that. So how do I escape that? Through advertising consistently and collaboration with people. I also had to create my own Facebook group for patterns. That also helped a lot, because members of the groups are like your inner cycle of customers. It's not as if you're not going to find customers outside of your group, but they are like the inner cycle. There are people that have bought from you before. There are people that like you, that like what you do, that like your pattern. So because this mode of business is going to be like international, right? You're going to be receiving in dollar, not naira. You need a payment gateway that can receive dollar. And the payment gateway I was using before now was PayPal. But the way PayPal is if you know about PayPal, you know what I'm saying. PayPal is like very hard to use. The risk of losing your money. Sometimes I will not be able to sleep, not because I like money so much, but because I know all the sweat that went into this thing. People finally bought, and I'm not able to maybe withdraw it from PayPal like immediately, and I'm just scared that PayPal can just close the account anytime. They've closed the accounts of several of my friends. It's a very painful thing. I recommend Stripe for something like this, and Stripe comes with its own baggage. It's secured, your money is secured, it's not going anywhere, except that you need money to actually open Stripe. I think 100,000 naira to 150,000 naira. It took me time to open Stripe because of the financial commitment about it. I have to even use money to open it. I mean, I want to receive money, so why should I be spending it again? But we use money to find money, right? Stripe is like the better version of PayPal has its advantage, And to be honest with you, white people trust PayPal more than leaving their credit card details on your website, because using Stripe as your payment gateway will mean that your customers have to drop their credit card, like the credit card number, the expiry date, and stuff like that. They will have to drop it on your website, and some people just don't trust that method. They prefer to just, because using PayPal, they can collect their money back even after buying from you. That's the advantage of PayPal to the customer and also to the seller, because the fact that your customers are at peace that their money is not lost even after buying from you, that they can get it, give them that confidence to spend, to spend on your website, because they know that if anything go wrong, they can get it back. And I'm not saying they can get their money back anytime just like that. I've done, I think, 1 or 2 refunds. I've refunded 2 customers, but that would be out of like over 7,000 customers that I have. So if you refund 2 customers out of over 7,000 customers, you know that is like very that is like some, you can't even rate that, right? It's like some 0.0000 something percent. So that is not bad. But what I'm saying is the confidence that your customer will have. The customer needs that trust, they need that confidence, and that's what PayPal provides, right? And that I don't think any other platform does something like that. Or maybe people don't have the confidence that other platforms would do something like that. So that is about the payment gateway. But what about the website itself? You need a website. You need to create a website, guys, if you want to do this business, because people are not going to come to your WhatsApp DM to come and order patterns. No. The white people are not, like, they don't even trust WhatsApp. Is why I rarely open my WhatsApp, because who is talking to me there? Almost like none of my customers are there except the other aspect of my business, not patterns. So they don't trust WhatsApp, they don't trust DM transactions. They want to go to your website, not even have any conversation with you. I have had thousands of customers don't even know me, has never said hi to me before at all, and they just go to my website, buy what they want to buy, and use it and just go. If they need to post the bags they made, they might want to post it or might not. But what I'm trying to say is that you need your website. You need to create a website, and it's just not every other, like every regular website. It's an online shop, like a kind of website that you can list a product on, then you write the price, then people can come to the website, read about that product, and click maybe buy now or add to cart or something like that, then proceed to the payment gateway, which is now PayPal or Stripe or any other means you are using. I also use Flutterwave as payment gateway now, but Flutterwave doesn't accept, I'm not sure I'm not sure Flutterwave accepts dollar, or maybe it accepts dollars but not in every country. In some African country, Flutterwave cannot be used in places like Canada, like places like that. I'm sure it cannot be used in Canada, because I've had some Canada customers told me that I'm trying to buy through your payment gateway, it's not working and all of those. Then I tell them to use PayPal sometimes. And another advantage of PayPal is, even if you do not have a PayPal account, like if your customer doesn't have a PayPal account, they can still buy, they can still leave their credit card, just like Stripe and Flutterwave and maybe Paystack and other payment gateways. PayPal can still function like that, so you can still drop your card number using a PayPal payments gateway on an e-commerce website. So that is the advantage of PayPal, guys. If you find a way to use PayPal, to be honest with you, I'm still using PayPal, but I try to reduce using it as much as I can because of the risk attached to it. But if you find a way to use PayPal, please do include that on your website when you get it. So after getting your e-commerce website, you put your pattern there. Is already listed. The next thing to do is to advertise it vigorously. So about the process of making patterns, there is something we call testers. These people are like different people from around the world. They also sew bags. If your case is sewing clothes or maybe shoe, they should also be sewing those, maybe clothes, shoes. Your testers should be sewing those as well. Then they take that your from like the raw stage, when you just finish the pattern, you give it to them. It's like when you write a book, you send it to an editor. It's something like that too. So the editor finds your mistake, they reconstruct your sentences, they do stuff like that to make your book come out the best. That is what testers are all about. So in this case, these people sew bags, and I will just send, I have like a private group for that, right? So I send it to them. What they gain, actually they do it for free. What they gain is the pattern itself. Like they get to get the pattern for free, and in turn I get the editing. Now let me just call it editing, but in our case we call it testing. They try to take your pattern, cut out what you said they should cut out, follow your instruction, use the measurements you put for them to use. After they've gone through everything, they will find some maybe 1 or 2 or 3 mistakes, maybe with your panels. Maybe they will realize that your panel is just not matching up, like the pieces of the bag. Now they might realize that it's not matching up, or maybe it's matched up. Your instruction is, your English construction is not making sense enough, and it's, of course, no offense, because they are helping you make your product comes out the best. So they will reconstruct those sentences, and of course it's not all of them that will help you reconstruct sentences. It's those people that love to do that kind of thing, but everybody will sew it. Everybody will say what problem they have with it, like or sometimes every other thing might be okay. Maybe the way the construction is, the construction of your pattern now, of your bag, maybe it's just not adding up. Maybe you're supposed to use zip for the closure and you use flap or something like that. So in that case, they will just tell you, this flap you put here, it won't be functional for the customer, like for the end user of the bag. It won't be functional. You know, there's a way your bag will be that you easily access it. You will easily, or maybe there's a place you can hide your money really well. But if the construction of the bag is not okay, let's say that you buy a bag and the whole cover is opened, like everywhere is open. If you take it to the market, thieves can just dip their hand inside your bag and take everything that is there. In cases like that, your testers will tell you this construction doesn't make sense. Of course, they are not going to say it like that. I'm just telling you what it is like. They are going to tell you, why not put zipper closure here? Why not put a flap here to cover this? Why not put a small pocket here where customers can, the end user of the bag now, where the end users can put their money, where they can put their cards, where they can put these, or maybe this bag is just too small, or maybe this bag is just too big for this design. You know, there's also a right size for a particular design. Some bags will be very beautiful when they are very big, and some bags will be like their best when they are very small. Actually, most bags are more beautiful when they are very small. It's just a tip. So something like that, they will tell you, maybe this is not functional enough. Where you put this handle, it won't be convenient for the customers to carry it, or this handle, the fact that you use chain handle, you hurt the shoulder of the customer. They will tell you stuff like that. That's all testing is all about. And by the time you are done with your testing, you will even sit back and look at your own work, and you'll be proud of it more than when you started. So that is the whole concept and the whole reason why we test patterns. In this business of pattern making, you need to be very creative. Creativity is like the hallmark of it, because you don't want to repeat what someone else has done. You don't want to be repeat your own design as well. You don't want to be repeating the same thing, because customers will get tired of you. One thing that I always get like as a compliment is, Toby, how do you always come up with all these beautiful and unique design? That uniqueness, it's very, very important. Like, you might, of course, it doesn't have to come out of your mind. Like, every 100% of the whole process doesn't have to come out of your mind, because it's literally not possible. There's no way you come up with a design that nobody has seen anything like it. Like, what I'm trying to say is, a bag, for example, has some major components that every other bag has. Like, a bag should have a main compartment, like where you put stuffs in. That's why we have bags anyway, to put stuffs in it. So every bag should have a main compartment. Every bag should have like a closure, maybe zip or flap, and every bag should have something you hold it with. If it's like very small, maybe you hold it with a wrist strap, like a wristlet, where you just put your hand. I don't have an example of bag like that here, but it's only like a pouch, like a very small pouch, or let me say small pouch actually. So there are some bags, they are handbags, they have like two handle where you hold them. Some have top handles, like most of the bags I have here at my back. Some have top handles, some have long strap, some have, so something stuff like that. You see bags as handle, main compartment, and main closure. Those are the three basic things that makes a bag. So it's not possible to come up with something that doesn't have those three, maybe one or two of those three. So it's like almost impossible to come up with something that nobody has seen. Like, no matter how unique a bag is, there is a bag that looks like it. In fact, maybe let me just say almost all bags are like into major categories, right? There are handbags, there are crossbody bags, there are travel bags, there are lunch bags, there are backpacks. So all backpacks cannot look exactly the same, but when you see a backpack, you know you are looking at a backpack. So that is my point, where I am saying that it's not possible to come up with something that is 100% nobody has seen. But at least your design should be unique, in the sense that when somebody sees it, for example, you can see 2 or 3 designs of bag, maybe in your everyday to-day activity, or maybe even online. You can see 2 or 3 designs and combine them. You might bring the handle of this one to the body of this one to the closure of this one. Something like that will definitely make a new design. And that new design, people will call it unique. That is the importance of it. For example, the cover of this bag is like this shape. You might want to make yours like this. Making yours like this actually means that this bag is not it's not exactly the same thing anymore. Or maybe making the side another kind of thing. Something like that is what I'm talking about when I said you have to be creative and come up with something different, something no one has seen, something when people see it, they will be like, wow, this is unique, this is creative. Not just creativity is very important, but you need what people are after. You can't be making handbags when you know your customers only like traveling bags. You can't be making traveling bags when you know that your customers want backpack. So you need to know what your customers want, what they are looking for. And how will you know that? By looking at other designers, because some designers will post their stuff and you notice that people are more after a particular design, a particular set of like a particular group of design. For example, handbags. Like you might notice that your customers cherish handbags than backpacks. So you have to study your customers. Like you have to get into their skins and know what they are thinking. Know if they are thinking, oh God, how will I get a pattern to make this kind of handbag? How will I be able to make this kind of thing? So something like that. The way I get this kind of information is because you are not God. There's no way you will get into the brain of your customers, but there are ways of doing that as human beings. So what I do is make a particular design, then post it where my customers are. Then when I post it, I get to know what they like. Like if they don't like it, they just walk past, right? But if they like it, they will pause and say, wow, what pattern did you use for this? I need to get this as fast as possible. So if you get that kind of review, you already know that they like it, because pattern making takes time, like takes a lot of time, and you don't want to do what your customers doesn't like. You want to do what you are sure they will go for. What you are sure when you spend, I spend an average of 1 month on making a pattern. So like minimum of maybe let's say 25 days. And sometimes my very first pattern I use 6 months, 6 whole months, like half a year is what I use for it. So it's like a very long process. It's training. It's just like writing books. I hear people say you can write a book within 7 days or 2 days. I don't know what kind of book that will be anyways. But the books that are bestsellers, that are books of all time, you know that those books, some writers even spend 30 years writing those things, like doing researches, gathering information and everything for these books to be unique. So it's also like that for patterns. You have to spend your time on it. On the average, not even on the average, I always give my testers 3 weeks to go through these designs, because I need them to be thorough with it, to look at it. They will, like, it's always like back and forth. I will send it to them, they will try it, they will send it back to me and tell me, okay, this doesn't make any sense. Then I will correct it, send it back to them, they will try it again and say, okay, it's getting better now, just do this place, redo this one. So something like that, you need to put in time and a lot of effort. And if you are going to put in time and a lot of effort to something, you should be sure that there's a market for it. You should be sure that it's worth your time. So that's why I always, like, not always though, I don't always do that, but I find that is like much more better than just posting, like just coming up with design and just shocking it in the eyes of people every time. Instead, know if they like it or not. Know if it is what they are looking for or not. In conclusion, guys, pattern making is very, very profitable, and you want to scale your sewing business, then you can totally incorporate this into it. So it's basically like still doing your everyday sewing, right? You are still doing what you're doing, except that you put your own unique design. Not everybody's designer. You put your own unique design into writing. You put it into digital patterns and into written instructions, so that other people will be able to use it. And where are your customers? My customers are basically on Facebook groups, sewing Facebook groups. So that is where my audiences are. And yeah, that's it, guys. Let me know if you have any question. Just drop them in the comment section down below. Our team are there to answer you all your questions. So you can drop your question down below. Let me know any questions you have, from sewing in general to how to make your pattern, how to sell it, how to get your customers, how to get the digital pattern, how to write your instructions, stuff like that. Ask them in the comment section and I will be there to answer you. All right, thank you so much for having me. Bye.